Comeuppance Network.
This is How to Watch TV.
On Comeuppance Network. This is How to Watch TV.
With Joel and Jeremy, my name is Joel Henderson. With me, as always, Jeremy Vasitis.
Hey, how we doing?
This is How to Watch TV.
And it's brought to you by Comeuppance Network. Check us out on all your favorite social media sites. You can get all that stuff at thishishowtowatchtv.com. Email us at thishishowtowatchtv@gmail.com.
What did you watch this week?
The Netflix original series, Sense8. We did a little pre-podcast on it already, so we're not going to go into too much detail, so check that out.
Yeah, it's on the iTunes feed. It's not video, but
it's just audio. But anyway, really cool show. I'm a little bit farther into it than you are, but I think it's really cool.
We're going to reconvene at episode 8. We did the first 4. It's just a little half-hour audio, so check that one out.
We'll do another one of those in the next 4 episodes.
What else do you see this week?
What else did I watch this week? Did I have anything? I mean, just that pretty much. We had mentioned that we were going to try that Wayward Pines, but I don't think either one of us got around to it.
I didn't get around to it, no.
Silicon Valley, you didn't get a chance to watch that one either?
No.
See,
and you know what? I didn't feel bad about it because Game of Thrones this week.
I know.
I'm not trying to segue to it. I was just saying.
I know. But Silicon Valley was really good.
Yeah.
Check that one out.
I mean, not surprised.
But I mean, seriously.
Here's the irritating thing. Why must HBO Go give you Game of Thrones like 8, and then the other shows it waits till like 10?
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Because I'm done with it for like an hour.
I watched Silicon Valley directly after we watched Game of Thrones, and we started.
It
Game
just
of Thrones
showed
at like
episode 8 for the next hour. I ended up just watching another movie last night instead.
You mean up above on the?
No, I mean I went into the series and it still showed 8.
It was up right away. It was up right after we were done with Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I watched it right afterwards. Of course, that was good.
The Community finale, you got caught up on Community?
I did. I watched Community finale.
I really liked it. It was a great finale.
It really feels like the end. I feel for the TV series. I don't.
I think he positioned it that way. I don't think he wanted to do another season because it's not that it's a bad show because it's really great still. I love it. However, it's not what it once was, and I'm trying to say that in the least dissing way because it's really still great. And on a different, it's on a different level than the show was before.
It's like a different show, but I find it really hard to believe. Not hard to believe, I guess, but that they would build all those sets brand new like that for one season.
That's my other, crazy. Yeah, that's my concern with it. Is
save them for the movie?
Absolutely. But how much time could they spend around the table in the movie? Like, they would have to be beginning and end, and, like, it's them all... Imagine the original cast sitting around the table for the finale.
So it would be Community, the Search for Troy? Is that what you said? That was your idea?
I mean, not my idea. Just something that would be kind of cool to see. I've heard it elsewhere.
Okay.
I mean, he did go off on a boat with LeVar Burton, and he got captured by pirates. I mean, come on.
Right.
It said that on the little ticker on one of the Bear Down episode.
It did, really?
Yeah. It said LeVar Burton and guest... captured by pirates in Somalia or something.
So they're setting up for that to be in the movie?
Potentially. It could be.
Donald Glover come back for the movie, wouldn't he?
I would imagine so, yeah. I think Shirley would, too. LeVar Burton absolutely would. Yeah. But, yeah, Shirley would come back because it would just be one movie. I mean, hell, they could probably convince Chevy Chase to come back and just say he faked his death.
That would be something that Pierce would do.
Right?
Right.
I just wanted to see if you guys cared. You just moved on. You replaced me with Elroy.
Did they come up and say hashtag and a movie?
Yeah. He's setting it up for that because he doesn't want to do another season. I would gladly take a couple seasons or
do you think it would
a trilogy of movies.
Movie, or do you think they would post it on Yahoo?
I think it would be Yahoo still.
That would be cool. Now, if it wasn't like a main thing where we got to go to the theater.
No, we're not going to have to go to a theater.
To finish it with a movie
and a movie, what people mean is like the Ricky Gervais style of
like
the
an hour
finale.
and a half finale.
An hour, a
like
90-minute finale.
Yeah.
That's a movie, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
So end it that way. I'd be totally happy with that. Get Troy. I want to see some hijinks. I want to know where they're all going in the future. We kind of got that with Abed going to, him going to Hollywood and Annie going into the FBI or whatever.
Annie was going to work. Where was she going, to the FBI or something like that? Quantico.
Yeah, I mean, it served as a good finale, and
I think
I'd be okay if they didn't, but I don't think Yahoo bought the property for it to end so quickly. I don't think they
I
bought
don't
it for
think-
13
not,
out.
and not with tens of millions of people watching. They're going to want some
That
more content.
rant at the end is worth checking out. Dan Harmon kind of...
Yeah.
He didn't think it would be good if it was him doing the rant, and up until like the last minute, he refused, and then they finally got him to do it, and it was pretty great. The fact that tens of millions of people are watching, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. No wonder he
The fact
said
that
the
tens of
number that
millions
he
of people
thought.
were already
Do
watching.
you remember me talking to you about that
Yeah.
from the podcast where he said you wouldn't believe the number? Like, I didn't believe how many people are actually watching it when he went to some Yahoo meeting. And he couldn't say at the time, but he said it there at the end. Tens of millions. That's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
And that wasn't worth being on NBC for a few more years? I mean, I guess they prophesized 6 seasons in a movie with just by that one throwaway line. So it's almost destined to be just that, in as much as destiny can take hold on a
And it
TV show.
wasn't-
But, you know, for that, they've kind of willed that into existence.
It's definitely had a following bigger than he thought it was.
Yeah, because it couldn't go out at 4 or 3 or 5. It had to make it to 6 in a movie because of that stupid line about the cape. The show The Cape.
6 seasons in a movie?
Yeah, he's like, no, it's going to be canceled. No, 6 seasons in a movie.
That's right. It wasn't even about. It was
No,
about something.
it was about the cape.
Yeah.
Because the
he
cape
thought-
was such a great concept, and it was a new superhero. I totally agree with Abed, by the way. That should have been a show that kept going. Have you ever watched The Cape?
Yeah, I did. It was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite
it was
good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was interesting. It was new. It seemed like it was new. There's probably
and
a
there's the
comic
dude
book
that was
somewhere
the
about
bad guy in Revolution, right?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Right.
I watched Fast 7.
You talked about that last week, I think.
Oh, was that last
Yeah,
week? Okay,
yeah.
then maybe it wasn't Fast 7. I watched Escape Plan with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, okay.
It was terribly awesome.
Terribly awesome.
It was fucking
That's a
spectacular.
good.
You gotta
that's a
watch
good
it.
thing. Oh, it's pouring again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little League games definitely canceled.
Yeah. Let's see
What
what
else you
do-
got for me?
I
I didn't watch too much. I gotta admit, I'm a video gamer as well as a TV enthusiast. I've been playing a lot of Witcher
yeah.
because that's a really badass game. But other than that, yeah, I watched that Sense8 and then Community, and we watched and then Silicon Valley.
Oh shit! What was the other movie that I watched? This is why I try to make a list of the things that I've watched during the week, because I had there was a movie that I watched that was really good. Oh, the Conspiracy.
You were mentioning
It's
another
on
one.
Netflix. It's really good.
Again, touching on the Netflix original series thing, man. Another good one was Sense8, I think. And there's another one I saw on there. I think I'm going to give it a shot. Just
that?
because it's called Between, I think,
Okay.
on Netflix. And it stars Jeanette McCurdy. She's like from Nickelodeon.
Okay.
She's from like iCarly and Sam.
So
and
it'll
Cat.
be somebody trying to break out of what that was, and it'll be a
and
totally
looks
different
like,
role.
It looks like a serious role. It doesn't.
Okay.
From what I read, some of the and that's a weekly thing. It says new episodes weekly on the little Netflix thing.
I don't think it'll be for indefinitely like that though. But they are airing some.
There's only 3 episodes out right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are just doing some shows and doling it out at a TV show pace. I'm cool with that too. I don't mind
why
either
not?
way.
Yeah.
Because you could just wait
So I
if you
was
wanted
thinking
to.
about checking that out. It's just I saw it interesting because I have a daughter that used to watch that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Mackenzie, she's outgrowing it now. But
Yeah.
She used to watch Sam and Cat and iCarly and shit like that, and that's where that chick's from.
Yeah.
And when I saw the little poster on Netflix, I was like, "Is that? What's her face?" So I was curious. I had to click on it and go see if it was her. And I was like, "That's sure enough, that is her."
That's called Between, you said?
It's called Between, I think. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a Netflix
Okay.
original series. Like, I'm willing to give any of those a shot.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. I haven't watched Marco Polo, though. I won't go that far. Fuck off with that.
Why? It was really good, dude.
Oh, God. Marco
You
Polo.
can say
I know.
a
It's
stupid thing
ridiculous.
because you know the stupid game when you play underwater.
That's-
but
I
that
was
was
just-
a badass series. dude.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Don't name it Marco Polo. Just a bit of advice.
It was good.
Arrested Development will be getting...
Marco Polo comes with the How to Watch TV recommendation. Fuck him.
Okay, Arrested Development will be getting a season 5 on Netflix in 2016.
Didn't it like finish up a season 4 on Netflix at one point
Yeah.
in time?
Well, it never finished up. It was left open
I've never watched it.
for a movie.
That's one thing I have to. That's one of the ones I'm.
Yeah, that's one that needs to go on the binge watch list.
Yeah. Okay.
In a bit of like sad news, an editor, Catherine Chappelle, an editor of Game of Thrones, was mauled to death by a lion.
What?
Yeah, in an accident. They went to a place where lions are. I don't know what the fuck to call that. Don't call me an idiot. Like the safari or whatever, and they pulled up to a place with the windows down, and it was strictly forbidden to have the windows down, and she was like trying to take pictures, and it came in and bit her, and yeah.
Like
somebody actually, yeah.
Well,
I mean, they probably didn't expect it to happen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like when it got close enough, they didn't roll up the fucking windows.
I don't know.
God, that's a stupid question. I guess whatever. That's awful.
No, they didn't.
That's awful.
That's the answer, because they did not. Yeah, but she died, and that sucks. So.
Was she like important?
She was a. God.
That was terrible.
I was worried about how we were going to handle this. That's the fucking best. Thanks, guy. I was worried about me. And you're just like, was she important to the show? Because that validates her life and makes her good or not good. Oh yeah, she could die.
That was an awful thing to say.
Yeah, she could totally die. She just did.
Go to her family.
She just did script editing. She could die. No, she was like something to do with CGI. I believe.
Contribution to the show important.
I believe. Well,
that's a better way to word it, right?
I guess. I mean, still, that's just one of those things. Too soon. It's too soon, bro.
Sorry, man.
Well, I didn't watch anything else of note other than Too Fast, Too Furious last night. Not as good without Vin Diesel.
No.
Ludacris stepped in. Ludacris became Paul Walker's into the racing world in Too Fast, Too Furious, and it just, meh. I fell asleep before the end.
Wasn't Tyrese in that movie too?
Yes. Oh yeah, that was Tyrese's introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was the Vin Diesel. I don't know. I don't know who was supposed to be the new Vin Diesel, but it didn't work without him. So I'm glad that they brought him back eventually.
They did like 4 movies without him before he came back.
Did they really? I don't know. I'm going to find out because I'm rewatching Fast and the Furious.
The whole series?
The first one was good.
Okay.
And so, oh shit, I guess I should watch the first one again. Yeah. So I'm going to watch the first one. I already watched 2.
The third one is...
It's hard to tell because they didn't just name them Fast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you got to find them in your movie list.
I think
it's like one's Too Fast, Too Furious with the number. So you have to look for the number section of your video titles.
Yeah.
And then the other one's like The Fast and the Furious. So that's in the T's. And then... Too Fast, Too Furious. Then it's like Faster and More Furious. I can't even remember what the other ones are. But then there's Fast 5.
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, like it's fucked up. It doesn't just go in order in iTunes. Like you can't just
right.
You can't scroll through them easily.
But yeah, I don't think
Vin Diesel came back till the fucking system of which one it is.
I don't think Vin Diesel came back till Fast 5 or
really?
Fast 4.
Okay. Well, we'll have to figure that out. But we are here tonight for the Dance of Dragons.
Yeah, good segue. Decent segue.
Well, pointing it out made it less so. We're here for the Dance of Dragons. I mean,
season 5, episode 9.
You didn't catch the name of the episode. I saw that a few weeks back when I can't remember what I was doing. I was just looking for the episode title. I
really thought they were gonna shit all over you though with that, and it just be her in that book. Would be the reason that the title was that it was called The Dance of Dragons.
Her in that book? What are you talking about?
Shireen.
Oh, yeah.
She was reading. I'm like, watch, that's going to be the only thing they're talking about in the episode title. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, you noticed the shirt that I'm wearing?
I do see the House Targaryen, Fire and Blood.
Fire and Blood, baby.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
There was a lot of fire in this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to get Miles on the phone right away because...
Do you think so?
Go ahead and get him because we start at Stannis. Hello, Miles.
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Nothing.
So,
I realized that we had to talk to you right away because we start with everything on fire at Stannis' camp.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we figured out it was Ramsay, and I mean that was kind of obvious. It just took me a minute to figure that out.
Well, they even said it later on in the description when he was talking to Devos.
Yeah.
He said 20 men, maybe less, were in here.
Oh,
nobody
okay. I didn't catch that either.
And then Stannis said, find out who was on patrol. They either fell asleep or they were working with the enemy. Find out the truth and then behead them or hang them.
I thought that was one of right when it got started. I was obviously a big fan of Stannis, and I was just like, yes, another awesome Stannis line where he's just like, put all the guards in chains, make them confess to what happened, and then when they do confess, or if they don't, hang them. Like it just purely indicates of like how unremorseful he is and how
He's he sticks by what he says, basically.
absolutely.
I have another question
Okay.
about Stannis. Then shortly after that, he's looking at the war table, right?
Well, is this when the wife and the red woman were together at the end of the scene? That first one? Because like that made me uneasy again. Like I know that she's like
he looked
accepted
over at her.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was weird. Well, then he's looking at the two, the war table with all the figurines on it
Okay.
that shows where the armies are, and he only had 2 Baratheon symbols up there. Does that mean that were we supposed to take from that the rest of the swords have gone? All he has left is his Baratheon soldiers.
No, he had 2 Baratheon, the Fiery Heart ones, and then he had one like sellsword company, like it was like a sword statue or whatever.
Okay,
behind it.
okay, I didn't catch that. All right, but his army's nothing. It's gone. Like all the mercenaries have pretty much gone, right?
He said he lost about 500 men. The sellsword company that left.
The Stormcrows.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but besides that, he had about 5,000 men.
When he showed up.
Right.
Okay. So, in 500's all he's lost. He's had to have lost more men to the winter now at this point. Too.
Well, yeah, I think that's what they started hinting at. That like the guys were, people were starting to die, and like he said, they've already lost, some horses.
They
and
lost.
everything
He said they lost over 100 horses or something like that.
Yeah.
In the fire, when the horse was on fire, running through. Did Jen get pissed at that?
I don't remember her getting upset at that now.
Did you say she gets upset when
She normally does, yeah.
On
It
the show?
didn't phase her. She was all in at that point. After that, we go to the wall from the north. Tormund has the girls.
How did this scene go way the complete opposite of
What you thought
what
it
I
would?
thought was going to happen?
What, you thought there'd be some sort
Well,
of
we even
resistance?
discussed it, that they thought
Yeah.
he was going to have to fight his way back in.
I think
And they meet up at the wall, and it's like, oh shit, here it goes again, and then he's just like, open the gates. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which to me really didn't even make much sense of why he landed those ships on that side of the wall, and had to travel 400 miles back to where Castle Black is when he could have just sailed them around the other side of the wall.
Oh,
and came
Stannis, you
by.
mean?
No,
Jon Snow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They sailed back.
because weren't the ships parked? Weren't they docked on that side of the wall? Because that's where Stannis came from.
Right, he came on that side of the wall as to surprise the enemy to save him, because he can't just take all of his men through one of the through the castle
Gate.
through
Yeah.
I got you right. So why didn't they just sail a little bit further onto the other side of the wall?
exactly, and then approach from like the north or whatever.
Huh.
With a
Have we haven't seen
South
anything.
of the wall. Why didn't he come
Right.
south of the wall instead of park? Well, I don't know, for dramatic effect, I guess at this point.
yeah, I mean that's
You know what I mean?
Because we wouldn't get to see Ollie's hard look.
You're giving him the stink eye.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to take that thing, the sometimes a man must make hard choices, and he's going to turn that into justification to try to off Jon Snow.
You think
Yeah,
so?
Absolutely.
I think
I
so
don't
too.
think so.
Because we really haven't seen a major character death yet, and I
Yeah.
think that there's something.
I
Like,
think he's
they're
gonna go
they're
for
trying to
it.
build something with that.
Wait a minute. You think Jon Snow's going to die?
Not necessarily, but
I guess
There could be-
that's off the table at
there
this
could be
point?
peril for him.
You don't think so?
We could be left-
You think anybody can
I
die?
don't know.
I think Jon Snow's one of the unkillables right now.
I'd
Don't you
like to
think
think
so?
I
so.
don't think there is any unkillables.
You
don't
Yeah.
think so?
I'm curious.
I think there's 2 or 3 on the show. Tyrion, Daenerys, Jon Snow. You can't kill those characters.
That's what
No
a lot
way.
of people say. Bob Stark and Ned Stark too.
Yeah.
I
I mean, it's a while into the show. I still, anybody could go, man.
guess so. I guess so.
If this episode didn't fucking teach us that, then nothing is going to.
Right, and even George R. Martin has even said he's like, this isn't a happy-go-lucky story. Like,
I know that. I know.
Your favorite characters are gonna die.
This is a dark story, and I understand that. And dude, like seriously, like it's still. I know that, and still during that scene, I'm
Which
still
one?
going. Somebody's gonna stop this. Somebody's gonna fucking stop this.
I
can't
we're
fucking
not there
believe
yet.
somebody's gonna fucking stop this. I can't fucking believe that nobody stopped
Well,
this.
one of the reasons that was allowed is because he sent the Onion Knight away.
I know that
Because
I know because he would have never.
And
let
you just
that shit
knew
happen.
why at the time.
I
Like,
knew
didn't
it.
you?
I
Did you know at that
didn't
moment?
think it was gonna be Stannis, man.
I thought it was going to
I
be the
thought
wife.
it was going to happen, but I thought it was going to be the bitch mom that did it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be her and the
Yeah,
Red Woman
yeah.
conspiring to
Yep.
do it.
Yeah,
I never
I
thought it was
thought-
going to be Stannis,
exactly.
man. I never
I
thought
thought the
Stannis
roles
was going to
would
make that
switch,
decision.
were like-
I thought the women were going to make that decision for him. Sorry to talk over you, Miles, but yeah.
No, you're all good.
Go
I
ahead.
thought the exact same thing. I thought it was going to be the wife pushing for it, and he was going to be, I thought their roles would have been flipped, switched, where he would have been like, oh shit, no, like, let's stop this, let's stop this, let's stop this. But really, it was her. She was the one that was like, no, we can't do this. Like, she tried justifying it at first by being like, this is a good idea, no, a great one. And then
Well,
as
she
her
was
daughter
in.
became mother-
Yeah, but then you hear
She
that
was
kid,
she was in and then became a mother again when that
you
happened.
hear that scream, dude. That's
Like
it.
up until that point, she was as devoted as anybody.
Oh, man, that was
Right.
that.
And, dude, we were laying in bed and Steph was asleep, and like I jumped up and it woke her up, and she was just like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was just like, had my hand over my mouth and was just like, "Oh my god."
Dude, seriously, I looked over at Jenna and she was asleep, and I was like, I'm not going to wake her up for this. I'm not going to wake her up during this. I'm just going to let her sleep through it and tell her what happened.
Yeah, just
Like,
in
'cause
case,
she-
because you didn't know at that point if they were going to show her or not.
Right, I didn't wake Jenna up. She woke up. She's so funny, dude, because she literally woke up the second they switched scenes. It switched to right after that. It switches to the arena, and then Jenna wakes up and she's all awake for that final scene. I was like, "Do you want me to tell you what just happened?" Or I was like, "Cause you will not want to watch it." You know?
Yeah, she said she went back and watched it.
She did?
Well, speaking of going back, we got to
was
go back
fucking
to
awful.
the Onion Knight talking to Shireen and giving her the little the stag that did he carve that?
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
did. He said I carved it for you.
So he tries to take her again. We know why. He's smart enough to realize what's going on here.
Yeah, but I don't.
Not necessarily very specifically, but he knows enough to go.
He knew they were in danger, and I don't
She
think.
specifically, it was not meant to be right there, and he
But
had
I
good
don't-
intentions.
Do you think that he knew what was going to happen?
Not specifically.
No,
He would have never left if he knew it was going to
he would
happen.
have never left.
No
He
question.
wouldn't have left her there. He'd have stole her. He'd have smuggled her ass out of there if he'd
Yeah.
have fucking
Right,
thought
because
that was
think
going to
about it. Back in like season 3 or 4, whatever, when Gendry,
Yep.
Rick's bastard. I mean, he let him.
Somebody
sail
that
away.
he's not even close to.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's a good
He would've
point,
taken
Miles,
up with-
about him
completely.
letting Gendry go. Yeah, because he definitely wouldn't let this happen, dude. Yeah, because that was okay. We
Yeah,
skipped ahead. A
well,
little
she
bit,
was
but-
reading the Dance of Dragons,
Right.
which obviously was going to be like he thought that was going to be the end of it, but no, it's.
the episode title. Like he was all excited because he kept saying he saw this episode title.
Well, you said he said it was the same as when he watched or when he saw The Mountain versus the Viper. Like he knew what that was going to be, basically.
Right.
And so I saw Dance of Dragons, and did they? I may get the name wrong because I just write down what I hear the first time. Sir Byron Swan.
Yeah, something like that.
Was the guy who
He
wrote
burned
it?
behind a mirror trying to approach a dragon because he thought the dragon wouldn't see him if he just saw his own reflection.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then,
when-
yeah.
And all the dragon saw was a dumb man holding a shiny shield.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
Burn him into a crisp.
Burn him to a crisp.
and then he gives her the gift
Man, that
for
little girl-
teaching him to grow up.
That little girl was good, man.
Yeah, she was.
She was good. Princess
I was-
Shireen of House Baratheon. She was good. That was.
Yeah, I was just reading something that actor Liam Cunningham or whatever. He, they obviously became really close in real life. Because he said his favorite scenes of the whole show that he did was with her, and as a little parting gift, they got each other. They got each other gifts and didn't tell each other they were giving each other gifts, and both of them got each other little like stag figurine statues or whatever as like a little parting gift. And he's just like, yeah, it was so cool. She's such a nice lady, a nice young woman.
Are you talking about Stannis and his daughter?
No,
Onion Knight.
Davos and the daughter Shireen.
okay,
Like in real
okay.
life, got each other little gifts, and they were
Oh,
both
that's
like
cool.
stag figures. Yeah,
I wonder if it was the actual stag figurine.
yeah, that's what I was wondering too, but I don't think.
Or
it
the
was.
dough, because didn't she need the dough?
She
Oh,
asked
yeah,
him to make the dough for her.
Yeah.
And he said, "I want to hear all about the." And that makes me want to cry now.
He's
that I'm
going to have
thinking
that
about
shit
that.
carved for her.
When he comes back and he realizes what happens, dude, he's gonna go after fucking Stannis. I don't think he's gonna stay by Stannis' side once he realizes.
Well,
what happened.
sadly, we have to wait because we're going to Dorne first. Yay, Dorne. Isn't Dorne fucking amazing? No, it sucks. Anyways, the prince there toasts to Tommen.
I don't think we've talked to Miles since you've come to the conclusion that you hate Dorne.
It's so boring, guy. What do you think, Miles?
Yeah, the show's done a really poor job of depicting Dorne.
And see, they were really excited about it too because of the place they picked.
Right, and I mean, like, if you read online and stuff like that, people are like super pumped. They're like, "Wow, like actually the sets are kind of beautiful and like everything."
Yeah,
like, they needed to do more backstory on Dorne and like get a little deeper into Dorne. They could have spent more time doing that than, in my personal opinion, than some of these other stories. Like, I could have done without 10 minutes of Arya being in a freaking whorehouse yesterday.
Yeah, that was a pretty fucking awful scene too.
I have thoughts on that. We're almost there. I don't know, what's his name? What's the guy, the prince's name?
Trystane.
No,
yeah.
I'm sorry, not him. What's the guy that's in charge there? He's not the king, is he?
Who?
Oh, he's the prince.
Who are we talking about? Prince Doran?
Yeah.
Doran.
Okay.
Oh, he is a prince too. Yeah, that's the guy I was asking
They don't
about.
call him King Doran. He's Prince Doran, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because Dorne's the only kingdom that the Targaryens couldn't overtake by brute force. They always repelled the dragons and basically were able to defend off the Targaryens. So when they did bend the knee, the terms were, we won't fight you anymore, we won't rebel you anymore, but we're still going to call ourselves princes and princesses, whatever, but we still have to bend the knee.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
That makes sense.
But it seems like they were.
That's why their words are unbent, unbroken, and unbowed, or whatever.
Unbowed, unbent, unbroken, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, they still bent the knee, but okay, so I forgot what the question
They
was
bent the
ask.
knee on their terms.
They did it on their terms because they would always repel the Targaryens
Well,
back. Even Tywin said it's smart for us to bring Dorne back into the fold, so they had been kind of excluded from the Seven Kingdoms.
Right, because
for a
they've
little
got them and Dorne and the Vale are the only two ones that weren't really affected by the war and still have large standing armies.
Right. The
Okay.
Eyrie, right? Eyrie, the Vale.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Right.
Well, this guy seems to be relatively level-headed, and he's still playing the Game of Thrones very nicely. Like he's being as civil as he possibly
He's in a
can,
fucking
letting
wheelchair,
Bronn go
though.
for... Yeah, and I mean, Ilaria making shitty comments about, oh, no wonder you have no spine.
That dude's a
Yeah.
good actor, though. The dude that
Hey,
plays
he's a good
Doran.
actor, but I know this. It just sucks because back to the same thing of like how they've done such a poor job of depicting Dorne. In the books, the storyline for Dorne and Myrcella and stuff is so much better.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get to it eventually. I don't know. I'm thinking we're about caught up, Miles. I don't think we're getting any... I don't think you're going to know much more than us for much longer.
No, I mean, last night that the burning scene was a shock to me.
See, and that's what I was curious to know because that's one of the first things I thought about watching the show was you. And I know how big of a Stannis fan you are. And I was like, man, I wonder if he knew all this time he's been telling us how big of a Stannis fan he is. If he knew this is how this happened.
What kind of
Because
sick mother am I?
I can't really
Yeah.
see.
What
Well,
kind
no,
of-
I didn't think that. I was like,
I did.
I was like, I really thought that he didn't know. I leaned towards him
didn't.
not knowing this.
He didn't know.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that now, but before I knew that, my thought was like, there's no way he knows.
Is that the potential first spoiler for book people?
Yeah, because potentially just because obviously this is a very controversial scene, but I was reading something today that the producers were saying George R. R. Martin
Yep.
demanded they put that scene in the show.
Yep. Meaning that's going to be happening in the book, because as he said,
Right,
at
so
the end of the
obviously
Stannis,
it has-
much like
it
we
has
know
some
the end of the
serious-
what's his name, the Brandon Stark storyline
Right.
is at the tree, and that's where they're caught up.
Yeah.
We know that's the end of the book story. He told me the end of the Stannis story is that they're marching towards Winterfell,
Basically, yes.
and that's the cliffhanger for that. So that's where the book ends on that. Like we're
Yeah,
caught up
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
So
basically.
so are they?
Stannis
So
is
they're going over it at this point then.
Right, exactly.
So
right
with,
there
with the
because-
burning scene, they went over.
That's the first potential spoiler for book people.
Because he said that at the beginning
Right.
when he
But
first started watching.
really-
One of the producers said,
Really-
this season we're gonna start spoiling stuff. And
Yeah.
I hate to do that. but-
They've been hinting at that scene though for like 3 or 4 seasons. Like when they first left Dragonstone, Melisandre said, Princess Shireen, you have a bigger part to play in this war than you know.
Yeah. Okay. Now that I'm thinking back, absolutely they did.
Yep.
It was
Well,
yeah.
they brought her. That was her purpose.
Yeah.
In the show, this is what was her purpose in this story.
Yeah.
Was to be
See, in the
sacrificed
books-
there.
in the books,
it doesn't
they
seem like it was a real man. That was a dude. That was just that put a lump in my throat and my stomach, just like the Red Wedding did.
It was tough. I think, if it was me and just how they laid out that episode, I would have had that be the last scene and have Danny's be second to last.
Oh no, I'm glad they did it the other way.
It probably.
I think because I think the next scene, the following scene, took the pit out of my stomach.
It did, but I feel like it still ruined that scene. It hindered that scene just a little bit.
Yeah.
Having the burning right beforehand.
Yeah, it was just so tough, man. It was so tough.
Dude, it was.
It's hard to talk about anything but those two scenes.
It is. It is. We got some other stuff though.
What else happened in that episode?
Jamie taking responsibility. Oh yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah. For the sake of covering it, Jamie taking responsibility for what Braun did. Like, what an idiot. Doesn't he realize what, taking responsibility for people entails in this world?
Sure, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
luckily they got off light right there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That guy turned out to be totally fucking cool.
Duran, yeah.
So as far as we know.
See, man, I think he's got so much bigger I think he's playing it like this.
Yeah, I think so too. I bet he can walk. I bet that fucker
I
can
don't
walk.
know about he can walk, but I'll tell you
Something.
what.
He's stronger than he appears.
I'll tell you what, as far as how we've had the discussions before about the best fighters in Westeros and in this world.
And you don't mean like slap hand fighters?
No, like fighters, like sword fighters, and you know what I'm saying? Like you had Prince Duran or Prince Oberyn was probably one of the better fighters in this world. Jamie was before he got his hand cut off. Ned Stark was one of them.
Yeah.
Robert Baratheon in his younger
Jorah,
age.
apparently.
Jorah was one of the best ones. What's his name? The guy who just died, Barristan.
Yeah.
Who died.
Sir Barristan.
Sir Barristan was one of the best. Yeah.
Well, Jamie was his squire.
Right.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think that big black dude, the bald dude.
Oh, dude, he's a beast.
I think that's one of the meanest motherfuckers on this earth.
Yeah.
In this world, I think.
I love that scene when he went to go swing his axe at Jamie right when they first were in the water gardens. And he was just like, if you were whole, it would have been a good fight.
Would have been a good fight, yeah.
That was a sick line, man.
No, that was a sick line. The way he just stopped that axe so fast at his throat like that.
They just haven't executed Dorne well. That's the complaint.
The characters have been executed
Some
well.
of it are...
The
no.
surroundings.
No, the Sand Snakes? Sorry.
Okay, come on, man.
Even down to them doing the stupid slap handy thing in the jail cell. They're just not that great. The one is
I'll agree
okay.
with you on the Sand Snakes, but I like Duran because I like the actor that plays Duran. I know his part's been really small. He's only had fucking 4 lines in the whole goddamn thing, but I don't know.
If you want to know,
I like it more than you do.
The Sand Snakes?
Not the Sand Snakes necessarily. I liked her part, the part that she played with the poison thing. I thought was cool, and how she got him all turned on, like you said, and raised his heart rate and made that poison work.
Yeah,
right. That was pretty fucking.
I've
cool.
got a prediction for what's going to happen.
Go on. What's that?
With Prince
With
Duran
Dorne?
sending,
Okay, go ahead.
with Prince Duran sending his son Trystane to King's Landing with Myrcella. Well, in Dorne, they don't believe in the oldest son or the son takes it next, even if there's an older sister or whatever. They believe it's just age wins. So technically, when Joffrey died in Dorne, if we were looking in Dorne's view, that Myrcella would have been queen, not Tommen. So I think that potentially there's some kind of plot potentially going on to kill, because in that prediction in the beginning of the season, it was, all 3 of your children will wear shrouds of gold, or whatever. So I think that Tommen's going to get killed, and then they're going to try and put Myrcella as queen, but then it's going to backfire on her.
Dude, we were just having we that was one of the questions we had from last week was who takes over if Tommen dies right now. What happens? Myrcella.
As everything is politically, who would it be? You think
it would be. I think potentially it would probably be Marjorie because they've consummated. They've broken bed or whatever.
But she could be dead or prosecuted or whatever.
See, now that's another problem I think with Trystane coming back to King's Landing.
It would probably go to the hand of the king until the people chose something or whatever.
I don't know. That's one part we didn't get any King's Landing this episode.
No. I think here's my little prediction. I should probably save it for the end, but I think that's the thing that we saw of the dragon flying over is going to be where Daenerys goes. I bet you she's going to fly over, and we're going to see that the dragon shadow over King's Landing in the next episode.
Do you think that was King's Landing, or do you think that was?
Wherever that was, that shit's going to happen in this season.
I don't think that dragon's big enough to fly across, the sea.
and not get, especially with the wounds it sustained.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, here we're gonna go to Bravos
Right,
first for a minute.
Right, let's do this.
So
Okay.
Arya selling clams from last week.
Well,
She
she's
ignores
got
the
the
guy, and she sees Marin Trant, and of course she's gonna follow him instead. Like, couldn't she have just very quickly poisoned the guy and been done with it?
Hey,
Why not? Why?
Sir Marin Trant? If we're
Oh, sorry.
he is a knight and all.
Oh, fair enough.
He's the Knight of the King's Guard.
That was a little Stannis.
Fucking this fucking fly in the room is just it's
You gotta
driving me
stop paying
crazy.
attention to it.
I was,
I've
but it
tuned it
just
out.
flew by again.
Yeah.
Little bastard.
Hey,
If
but
you
that
react
was
to it, it's going to look really funny on camera because they can't see the fly.
Well,
Hey, that comment I had just had, that was a little throwback from Stannis in season 2 when he was writing his proclamation letter, and the guy was just like Jaime Lannister, and then Stannis stops him and he's like, Sir Jaime Lannister, he is a bloody knight after all.
oh, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Little throwback Stannis.
There you
for
go. There you go.
Yeah, well, up till this point, Stannis is still the man. Well, so she follows Marin Trant, and he goes into a brothel, and he's looking for young chicks. And they keep saying, too old, too old, too old. Now, I know you guys were seemingly dismissive of this, but that's how Arya's going to kill him next week. She's going to be the
absolutely.
next
Oh, yeah,
one.
totally.
She's got to
You're
be.
going to have a fresh one for you tomorrow. Arya's definitely going to be that chick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if she does the face flippy thing, which I don't think she even
Well,
does
you
yet.
think
Yeah,
about the
that's
young
cool.
girl that she took earlier.
Yeah, the
she
one that was-
poisoned the young girl
Yeah, her.
and took her face.
He's
He could take her
gonna
face.
call her out for that when she does that. They're gonna go in the room and he's gonna be like, I knew who you are.
But what we're saying
And
is
I'm
she's
gonna
going to
take
be a
her-
different face.
She could if
She's
she
going
was
to wear. Remember
yeah.
the young girl that she talked into drinking the water?
Oh yeah.
She's going to take her face.
If she does that, that'll be the first face she takes.
and then she's going to kill him.
Ooh, maybe. But I still
Or
feel like that
or
before
he was
she kills
looking
him.
at her because he
See,
was
this is
lusting.
another point. So you don't know this then.
No, I don't.
See, this is so they're going beyond the book at this point then. Beyond what
well-
you would know.
Her storyline was a little different in the book.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so either he was just looking at her not with recognition but with lust,
good point.
or she's going to switch faces and be the other girl to
And see,
bypass
I
that.
think he somewhat knows because I mean, ever since she started doing that little counting or the saying the names before bed, his name was always the first one that she always said. Like I think they've been building that too long for him not to know that it was her that killed her, or killed him.
Listen.
Oh, she'll flip the face back at the end.
While she's
Oh,
got the knife in his throat, that's when she takes the face off and like, I'm fucking Arya Stark, you bitch. Here you go. You know,
Yeah.
eat it.
Oh yeah, she's not going to hide it from him, but
Right,
to
no.
get to him.
Right. I don't know.
Hey,
We'll
what
see
if-
what happens. If she does it with her face, with her face by herself, that's taking a huge risk. Because he's seen her before. He knows who she is. He knows who Arya
But
Stark is.
that's what they were teasing there, is that he recognized her. I think he was just wanting to stick it in her.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. But I don't know. In a room long enough, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, you're right.
Did you hear
You're
the
absolutely
foreshadowing? How much for your clam comment?
Right. Yeah. There you go. So that's what it's going to be.
That'd just be too good.
She's gonna be in there, or she'll get a hold of the girl that's supposed to be next, and change her face to that face or something
Well,
like that.
so she goes back and lies to him and says that the Thin Man was not hungry, which we all know is bullshit, and so does are we just
He
calling
knows.
him the many-faced god at this point, or are we just,
I think he is the
His name
many-faced god.
Oh,
or
Jakan Hagar or whatever.
Yeah, I know. We've kind of
Yeah.
resigned ourselves to that he's the
Jakin
many-faced
Haka.
god.
Yeah, he's the faceless man.
I think he's the many-faced god.
Yeah, what if, yeah, what
He's
if
the
that whole-
only faceless man that we've seen, so that's why I'm saying like he could be.
We stumbled on
many-faced
this
god.
last week or something.
We haven't seen like another faceless man come back from a mission. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's true.
We've only seen.
So
him.
maybe maybe it's just him. You know, that'd be pretty badass, and nobody else can do the face flippy thing. We've never seen anybody else do it.
No, we've only seen him do it. But they have referred to the faceless men. They have referred to them.
Yeah,
as
but
a,
it could
as
just
a
be
group
him.
of people. But it could just be him. You're absolutely right.
We'll see.
He could
The
be
faceless,
many-faced god.
the faceless god is no one,
The many-faced god, right?
or the many-faced god.
Well,
yeah.
for the sake of pointing out the individual that he is not, I think it might be Jakin Hagar.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
moving on.
Or when.
So you think he absolutely knows she was lying?
So he could ask why she failed her first mission, and she could explain that what's his name killed Sirio Farrell, and he could reveal himself to be Sirio. That's still on the table too.
There you go.
Yep, that'd be a fan favorite.
What do we say to the many-faced god? Not today.
There you
For the
go.
guy-
Or something equally nostalgic or cheesy. Yeah.
Wow, that's like season 1, dude. That's awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, that would be pretty fucking.
Because he was
cool.
from Bravos,
Yes,
right?
he
Like,
was. He
what
was
if
a
he's
first
been
sword-
he's
was
been
a first
fucking
sword-
teaching her?
He was a first sword of Bravos.
He was teaching her from day one.
Yeah.
He's been
That-
guiding her journey specifically.
Yeah, dude, that would be fucking sick, man. That'd be a
Maybe-
real
yeah,
sick ass
maybe
turnaround.
Maybe that's why he won't care if she kills Marin Trant, because Marin Trant was the knight that was the Kingsguard that was fighting Sirio Farrell.
Yep, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Marin Trant was the one who come and tried to take Arya to begin with.
I mean, it would be a cool reveal. I'd be
That would
totally
be really
fucking
cool.
awesome. That'd be badass.
But they get that little actor back, the little dude that played
Yeah.
him. He plays
Just
I'd
for
be like,
one scene, and then we go back to Jaqen.
Right,
Like, I'm cool. It doesn't have to be Sirio
Right.
from now on.
right.
Like,
You're right. They could just flip his face real quick, and it could just be like a 2-second thing, and then he could flip it back. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. That'd be a really good one. I'd like that one a lot. Okay.
well, I also think she succeeds at killing him based on the Hound's words from last year. Marin Trant could probably be killed by any boy whore with a sword.
Yeah, this dude's a douchebag.
And so she's going to be in there.
Dude,
and she's
yeah.
been a boy, if you recall.
Yeah.
Arya was a boy at
Yeah.
one point. She's going to have a sword. She's going to kill him with a sword and
You think
be
it's
pretending to be
you
a
think
whore.
it's going to be Needle? She'll go back and get Needle for him?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come on. I mean, they
It
didn't
has to
set
be
that
Needle.
up for her to go do her first kill on her list without Needle.
Right, and then man,
This will
then
be the
that-
first. This will be the first
that-
name that she actually
Never.
takes off her list herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she gets him, right?
Yeah, but could you imagine this? Like after she does that and kills him with Needle or whatever, and she goes back to Jaqen Hagar or whatever, and she says, nobody killed him or whatever, and then he's just like, no, Arya Stark killed Sir Marin Trant, and then he like pulls out Needle or something like that and hands it to her and says, if you really want to take this seriously, you gotta really get rid of all this stuff.
Oh, you think he's going to make her ditch the sword?
Maybe I could just see it. Like if you really want to.
See, I think he knows though that her vengeance goes a little deeper.
Yeah.
I think he knows
It's
that
at least not petty. It's not just like
it's not that he knows that everything they've done to her, and he's trying
Right.
to get her to let go of some of that stuff so she can
Again, if he's
train,
guiding her
but still,
specifically, then maybe this is all part of her path.
it is. I think it is all is. I don't know. That's a. We're assuming now. You know
Well,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's
Like,
just we're just rolling
going-
with theories.
Rolling with theories.
We could recap, but we might
Yeah,
as well
I get it.
theorize as well, because I didn't even think of half that shit until we started talking about it.
Well, no, right. Well, Sirio Farrell, that was we talked about that before though, like him being Jaqen Haka.
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
That fucking it's hilarious every time you have to try to say his name.
Jaqen Haka.
The only other thing back at Dorne was Ilaria swearing her allegiance,
And crying.
but she didn't have. It wasn't like a big enough build up to be that impactful. Like if this had been a lot longer, it doesn't feel like it's been the whole season that we've been there. It's only been like 5 episodes or so. So it just didn't feel like she'd rebelled long enough to then when she bent the knee for it to
It
matter.
was too quick.
It's not like
See,
Cersei.
that's why I say we have to assume that a lot more time has passed than what we've seen.
Yeah, fair enough.
Weeks
That would
and
make
weeks have passed since she. I mean, it took her weeks to get back to Dorne after Oberyn's death,
Yeah.
and then weeks and weeks. I mean, think about how old Marcella is now,
Yeah.
compared to when she was sent off. She was sent off as a little girl, like an 8-year-old girl.
I know it's almost like they
And now-
changed actresses.
Well, yeah,
They did.
I'm not talking about it in terms of actors and
know.
actresses. I'm talking about it. In
The
terms
only
of the
other
characters'
thing
ages.
of any real impact there was that Ilaria visited Jaime and says that basically they would have accepted the incest thing
So
there.
do you think Trystane is like his father?
Oberyn? Was
No.
it Oberyn his father? Or
No,
was...
Doran is his father.
Okay.
Do you think Trystane is as level-headed as his father? I think he is because of not punishing Bronn and putting Bronn to death or something like that for punching him. You know?
Yeah, it would have been a little tight though if that little guy would have just got up and punched Bronn instead of.
That was a little bitch move right there. Instead of having what's his face do it, the big
Well, but that
dude
black
did.
dude wanted to do it, I think.
I think he did too.
Yeah.
Because Bronn had been a smartass.
Well, hey, and if you think about this too, I mean, if Trystane does go to King's Landing, Doran's not just going to send him there alone. Like, do you think he's going to send that big black guy?
I
with
think
him?
so. Yep.
Or maybe all 3 of the Sand Snakes, like pledge your allegiance, protect your brother, protect your half brother, whatever.
I don't think I would trust them with that, dude. I think the only person he would trust with that would be. I don't know his name. The big black dude's name. What's his name?
I can't remember it either.
No idea.
But he's cool though. But like,
We'll
I think
know it soon,
That's
I bet.
that's a cool thing I didn't think about till you just brought it up right there, Miles. That's a good point. Like that he would go back, that he would go with Tristain.
Right.
Oh,
As
the
his
black
bodyguard.
dude? Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet. Because that fucking weapon that with the diamonds and shit in it and the rubies in the middle. That, I mean, like I was paying, when he was taking Braun out of the cell, that thing looked like it had a light shining in it. Like that thing was badass, man. That long axe they called
sick
it.
weapon.
That's a sick ass weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, his name is Ario Hota.
He's the best of the Dorn stuff, which again, it's not that the idea behind it isn't good, it's just the execution hasn't been there for some reason.
Well, it compared to what else we've seen so far.
It's compared to everything else in the show. There's been
think
nothing
about
that's
the
failed.
pyramids of Marine that we've seen. Like, come on, like I think they got permission to use this ancient place in Spain to film.
Yeah, we saw
the
that in
water
the behind the
gardens and to
scenes
film
stuff,
the
yeah.
Dorn stuff. And they got really excited about that, and it just didn't. To us, it doesn't look as well.
No, the look of it is fine too. It's the execution. That's all it is.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean the way that they're saying.
Like, oh, more of it, or have
Is
more
it the camera
interaction.
work? Is it the backgrounds that bother you?
It's
Is it
it's none of that stuff. It's
the fact that Jamie and Braun showed up at the same time as the Sand Snakes? and all
that's
that shit?
one minor thing, but yeah, all those little pieces add up to it. What do you think, Miles?
Yeah, I mean, I just think too, like out of all the people, out of the entire, kingdom of Dorne, we've really only heard 5 people from the whole Dornish kingdom talk. We've seen maybe a dozen of them at most of like his royal guard and stuff. But I mean, really, they don't show you how big Dorne is. They don't show you what Dorne really is. You don't talk to other people from Dorne, even if it's someone minor. You're only talking to either the Sand Snakes, Hilaria, or Doran, or Ario.
I see.
Ota.
It's literally just the
Okay,
execution
so like,
of
for example, like when we get to Bravos, she goes through the fish market in Bravos, and we get to see the city
Yeah, you
alive and
see-
moving and all that shit. We haven't seen any of that for Dawn.
it. Correct.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Execution. It's
I-
literally
I'll
just
give you that.
how they're presenting
we
it
haven't seen
to
this
us.
like any cities. We haven't seen any people doing shit like a normal city.
We don't know
would
what
be.
the Dornish people
when
are
we
like.
pull up in Bravos, like that was a badass entrance into that
Yeah,
city. We got to see a
exactly.
little bit of everything. I see where you're coming from now. With
That's all.
Dorne.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you there. We haven't seen.
I would
that
like
part
to see
Dorne
more
yet.
of Dorne, but
Yeah.
not in the presentation we've been getting. We get like a little tiny cell. We get like the council meeting that they just had at the end. Like
room they were
it's
sitting
all
in.
kind of secluded and sectored off instead of us getting this big expanse of what Dorne might be.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
After that, we go to Stannis' camp with Shireen with her toy stag, and he's definitely coming back with the wooden dough, the Onion Knight when he does come back.
Dude, he is going to
Without
be
a doubt.
so
He's gonna
fucking
break
pissed
his
off
heart.
when he comes back, bro.
Yeah, Stannis comes in and she explains the Dance of Dragons to him, and she's like, "I want to help." And was that her that said her name this time?
Yes.
That she called herself Princess
I
Shireen
am
of House
Princess Shireen
Baratheon.
of House Baratheon.
She said it like, "I'm Princess Shireen of House fucking Baratheon."
Yeah, that's
like that was how
basically
she said it.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that
Yeah,
shit
it was-
almost made me cry.
Yeah.
Because I knew what was coming at that point. Like,
you know
she's
what, too?
done.
With her saying that, I think that it almost helped in Stannis' head. With her being
Justify
like, I want
it.
to help in any way I can. Yeah, help justify it in some weird way. Of like, well, if she's really my daughter, then the greater purpose of us all,
Yeah.
is.
I mean, my first instinct was to turn on Stannis like everybody else's is, but maybe he's the only one. I mean, aside from a Jon Snow, but if we're talking king-wise, like he may be the next. He could be a king here. So for him potentially to be the only one that's taking the threat of the White Walkers and all that shit seriously, and like being willing to do whatever the fuck it takes. Maybe it works out for him. I just have that Robb Stark feeling. That I don't think I should I don't think I should turn on him right now. Whereas I felt like the Robb Stark thing was, I just didn't think it was going to work out well for him, and it didn't. So I just feel like maybe I'm wrong this time, and maybe Stannis is doing it right. Maybe it had to be done for the
thing
good of
is,
all the people.
I think I think you're wrong with saying that he's the only one that's taking the White Walkers seriously. The only one that's
aside
seen
from
any
Jon
White Walkers
Snow,
is
yeah.
Jon fucking Snow.
Yeah.
And Stannis is, I think his focus is more on the Iron Throne than on the White Walkers.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Was him killing his daughter? Was that for the greater battle of just for Westeros or for?
It was for him to get on the Iron Throne.
Yeah, but I think but if you really think about
I
it,
don't know.
If he doesn't take Winterfell or whatever, his whole army's done. He's done. Then there is no battle against the White Walkers.
I think that's what happens.
So one step at a time.
I
then
really
he
think
wasn't-
that's what happens to Stannis, and that he doesn't die in this battle, but has to live with sacrificing his daughter for nothing.
Right. Oh, don't worry. If his demise is or does come, it's definitely going to be the last thing he says, or in some form of words of "I should have never, killed my daughter."
And dude, I'll tell you what. Who might even be driven to put a sword through his back?
Oh yeah,
Is
well,
Devos. You think Devos might not try to kill him after what he figures out happens, dude?
Or his wife.
Or his wife. I don't think he's gonna I don't think Devos is gonna back Stannis once he comes back and finds out what happens.
I don't know, man. He used to be so stubborn, and he told the bitch no. And
He
then he
did.
went back on that shit. Like, we need stubborn ass. I don't know. Like, maybe it is for the greater good, but
I just think things are changing so much for him that, basically, the whole speech about, that he gave Shireen of, if I am truly who I'm, if a king is truly who he says he is and knows who he is, then, this shouldn't be a hard decision at all. Like, I think he is still staying in his stubborn ways of, you know what? The overall battle is more important than anyone else but me winning this overall
She
victory.
said the Red Woman told him the most important thing is for him to be on the Iron Throne before the long night comes.
Right.
So, but that is essentially, if you think about it, whether he knows what it is or not, he's working towards being a defense against this oncoming attack from the north.
Yep.
From winter coming. Like, he's got to know something is coming with that. He is
Yeah,
fighting
because
for
if he's sitting
that.
on the Iron Throne, if he's sitting on the Iron Throne, then he can, help push people and, tell them, hey, we're sending our whole freaking armies after them.
But then they could all come right back at him.
Yeah, that's the
Shit.
only problem, dude. Is this
Jon
whoever-
Snow's going to ride in and save the day at Winterfell, probably.
I think so too.
I don't know, man. I wanted to say fuck Stannis, and then I thought the wife was saying
I
it was
just
right
really-
at first before they killed her. Like, she was like, oh, she's right. And then, like, yeah, she snapped at that moment that she heard the screams, and she became a mom for the first time that we've seen her in this whole series. Because she always didn't like the girl, right?
But it was too late.
She didn't like the little girl because of the face, right?
I tell you what, any parent, I don't care who you are, king, no king, you hear your kid screaming in pain like that, you're going to become a parent at that
Man,
point.
the way that she was calling for her dad, because in her mind, my fucking dad wouldn't do this.
Right.
He wouldn't fucking
Right.
do this to me. And then
What
when
do you
when he steps out, and then she's still calling for his name, and he just sits there stone faced, like, fuck.
Well, did she see him?
The what?
Did Shireen see him?
I don't think so.
It's hard to say. I don't think she said.
Because,
She,
that's, what would be worse? Her calling out to her dad and he didn't come to save her, and that was her last memory, or him walking out, her seeing, or,
The
she
first
sees
one.
him.
The first choice, absolutely. Her thinking that her dad would never let this happen, but somehow it did, instead of her thinking my dad ordered this. That's a better last memory, for sure. She shouldn't have to go out knowing that her dad turned on her like that. Like, she could think that the army and that her mom and that the Red Woman did it. But the Red Woman is not to blame here. She gave Stannis an option, and he took that shit. Like, this falls on Stannis. That's his decision.
Yep.
Nobody else gets any of the blame for this. In my mind, anyway.
see, I disagree.
Because
though.
he would, if the wife said no, he would have overruled her. If the it's all him. It's his choice.
I know that, but he's being influenced by the Red Woman.
But she tried to tell him no, and he said no before. Like, he could tell her no if he really wanted to. He made the decision.
Yeah, but I mean, really, if you think about it, though, too, I mean, with Ramsay burning all their food storages, everything like that, like, they don't even have enough food to get back to Castle Black. Like, if he didn't do something, either, A, I sacrificed my daughter, or 5,000 men, plus myself and my wife, and everyone else is going to die.
Is that how many are left? 5,000?
I mean, that's what he originally started with, was roughly 5,000. Then he lost, or about 6,000, but then he lost, like, cell swords, and then,
I think what we saw that table, like, I think that's what his army's down to, is however many, like, I think
pieces
those
he
blocks
had.
are like 1,000 men or something, like a battalion, so he only had a couple thousand men left.
might be a little more than that, but...
Yeah. I don't know how much those,
We're going to get that next episode. That
Yeah.
battle is going to take place and be over, and shit's going to be fucked up, because either Baelish is going to come in right after that, or the White Walkers
See,
are.
you got to think about how
Shit, they got to get through the wall first.
he's got to cover. Dude,
I don't think we're going to see the White Walkers for the rest of the season.
You don't think so?
No.
No, that was it, I think.
Probably not. We probably won't see them cross the wall because I really think that is the end game of the series when the White Walker confrontation occurs, and then like how everybody recovers after that. Like that'll be the end of the series, I think.
Right. But how far down do you think the White Walkers are going to get? I think the wall's going to fall, and I think they're going to get all the way down towards Dorne and stuff. Like I think they're going to completely roll over the Seven Kingdoms.
And the only person that's going to be able to save him was
one of Dany's-
Daenerys and her dragons.
Yeah.
Right. Remember one of Dany's visions or dreams that she had or whatever, and it was like her walking through the throne room, and it was like all snowy.
Yep.
Yeah, and like there was holes in the ceiling and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That could be
We're
the
definitely
King's
not going to
Landing
see
she
that
comes to.
this season.
No.
But I heard talk that they want to wrap it up after 8. That 6 and 7 they're contracted through 7, but they think they could wrap it up with 7 or 8. So like this is just the one story. Like it feels like such a fucking huge world that we could go on for 15 seasons, but there is just this one story they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
Right. And really, only about 3 time has passed.
What did you say?
Only about 3 years time has passed.
3
in the show.
years.
We were
Okay.
asking about that beforehand, like how old Arya is supposed to be now.
Okay, so only 3 years have passed. Okay.
Yeah.
Since
Well, that
we
was-
first
that
saw
was-
Ned Stark and them. Okay.
Yeah, because that was one of George R. R. Martin's biggest complaints. Was he's like, my story's only over the course of 3 to 5 years when it's finally done, but the characters in the show the young kids are aging so much faster than they are in the books.
They've done a really good job with it, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Arya still seems pretty young, even
Yeah.
though she's 18 now in real
Right.
life.
Sansa still. I mean, she looks like she's grown up a little bit, but everything fits to me.
Yeah.
I think it all fits.
Yeah. It seems like the right amount of time
Yeah.
has passed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stannis is the Kinslayer.
That's
That's horrible, man.
I know, right?
Did he
Wish
send
they
you? Did
just
you?
wanna
Did you
put-
send him that text you sent me earlier with the Tiger Beat poster?
I made that for him.
You made that?
I made that shit.
I didn't know you made that.
Yeah.
Where did
Yeah, that
you
thing was
made that? I
badass.
sing in the shower. You made that up?
Yeah. No, it said I sing in the shower. It was for Barack Obama. I cut out Obama. I pasted over Obama with Stannis, and then
Oh.
gave him the Hitler mustache.
That's funny.
Because
I
it was
didn't
like, you know
made
what?
that.
This is
thought
how I
you
was
found
feeling
that
when I
somewhere.
made that. When the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, when the seas go dry and the mountains blow and the winds like leaves, then I will forgive you, Stannis. It felt like I wasn't gonna get over it. So yeah, I made that for him because I said I bet you I could. I was just like I bet I could picture you like pulling down your Stannis Teen Beat poster
Yeah.
from the wall above your bed.
Yeah.
Like may as well have swastikas on it.
Stephanie just started laughing at that comment. She agrees wholeheartedly.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So, do you think that? What do you think's going to happen with the Onion Knight specifically? Do you think he's going to like go Castle Black, or do you think he's going to like go to the Wall and be part of the Wall just to get out of Stannis? Because he can't come back and say, "I don't want to serve you anymore." He'll fucking get burned.
Right. Well,
And I don't think
He's
he's going
going
to
to
come
be
back
smart
and kill
enough
him.
to play it, but he's going to turn on Stannis for this.
do you
Yeah,
think he's going to find out when he's at the wall, or wait till he gets back?
I think when he
I
gets
think it's gonna
back.
be when he gets back.
Yeah,
He, like you said, he's going to have that dough. He's going to have the other
Yeah.
figure she asked for.
Do you think he's going to have a wildling army behind him? Like
Poten-
bringing reinforcements?
With him and Jon Snow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah. Why not?
They're reinforced to send more men and fresh horses. The only more men they have are the fucking wildlings now.
Yeah,
Right.
There's 50 guys at fucking Castle Black.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Castle Black is going away.
That's why you're right. The wall's probably not going to be a very big
Well, and
obstacle for the army of the dead.
And another thought I had about like all the sellswords and everything with Stannis is that publicly burning your daughter does not particularly inspire devotion.
No shit. Well, that's another thing. It's like why
yeah,
would
for
all
the
the people
swords at least?
Yeah,
the sellswords? Why wouldn't they just be like fuck this dude and be out?
Right. Well, even among Stannis' men, it didn't really look like it was that popular.
I don't think it was, except they carried out the orders.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, Stannis has been burning people for 3 or 4 seasons now.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the season 3 beginning, he's sitting there setting his wife's brother on fire.
Yeah.
he's gonna win because I don't think Ramsay can stand up against such pure evil.
Right.
So It made Ramsey. It's like, oh, who do you root for in this battle now?
Stannis
or-
is going to win, but it's going to be a hollow victory. Like it's not going to
Yeah.
it's not going to result with what he wants it to be, which is him on the Iron Throne protecting the world. But I just don't see it, or the Seven Kingdoms or whatever. Wouldn't it be cool if something happened? Now I'm just throwing this out there. What if something happened from the other part of the world that we don't even know before the end of the show? Like something came that we never even imagined, and like interjected itself into the mix here.
Like
Oh, that we don't even know about. Like, there's something more to come.
Yeah. Yeah, just anything. It could be literally anything. Anything else in this world. If there's White Walkers in this world, then who knows what else there is on the other side of the world.
Yeah, true enough.
So, like, maybe something...
An army of the children of the forest.
Yeah, just anything that we, like, weren't expecting could just pop in and be like, holy shit, like, we've been seeing this little piece of this whole world. Or maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe they won't go that far.
Well, to be honest with you, dude, like, if you look at the world map, it's crazy, dude. It's huge. It goes on way past, like, Karth.
Yeah,
Like,
so...
Shadowlands of the Shire,
it's
whatever.
insane.
So maybe there's somebody else eyeing some shit up. I mean, I guess it wouldn't make sense to not have told, to not be telling their story then. So I guess that probably won't happen. But it would just be
Right.
kind of cool to think, what if somebody with something bigger than
Well,
dragons
you just
came
made
into the
me-
mix?
You made me think of something just now, but like because you said you think where Daenerys goes is to King's Landing, like you see her dragon flying over. You think that's
Yeah.
She's going to Valyria, dude.
Oh yeah,
To touch
probably.
with her ancestors, like that's where her and the
But
dragon
she's
will
gonna
fly
cross.
to.
Will
And
she
she's
pass
gonna go
over
fuck-
it?
No, she's gonna land there somewhere.
No,
in
I mean,
some
would she
ancient
pass over
Valyrian
King's
temple
Landing?
and fucking find her like fucking Valyrian Targaryen fucking power? Whatever that might be. Her complete control over those dragons. You know what I'm saying? Like all three of them.
So where she's at now, is she
Maybe
going
a
to
nest
pass
of
over?
dragon eggs. Maybe Drogon had laid some eggs.
Oh, or some shit like that
That would
too.
be sick.
That would to more dragons. Yeah, that'd be nice. Because I think she's gonna need more than 3, dude, to take out the White Walkers.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to get a lot bigger, though.
Yeah, well, when he landed, like he was a lot smaller than I expected him to be.
It was
Big
still
enough for her
pretty
to
big.
ride, but he was still pretty big. But I thought he was gonna be bigger than that. Dude, he come bursting out of the air out of a fucking ball of fire. I mean, that shit was fucking ridiculous, dude.
Okay, we're
That
not
shit-
quite. Hold on, I got
we're
a
not
little
quite
more,
there yet.
little more on Stannis here.
Oh, okay.
Melisandre's, what is it? Melisandre? I get confused with her and Missandei.
Melisandre is the Red Woman.
Her prophecy was that he'd betray his men, his oaths, and his family, and it would all be worth it because he was the savior of mankind. When he discovers that he's not, that's going to obviously just destroy him, I would imagine.
Who, Stannis?
Yeah, I think he didn't. I don't think he's cold. That he didn't feel it. He just had to do what he had to do, kind of thing.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's his whole personality. Is my duty is my duty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get
So
it.
could he think that he's the Azor Ahi? I don't even know how you say it. I haven't heard it said. That she told him that he might be the reincarnated. Do you know what I'm talking about, Miles?
yeah. No.
The savior of the world.
Azor Ahai reborn or whatever. The prince who was promised.
So I was reading about that guy to see how that impacted. What if he's supposed to be that? If Stannis is supposed to be this guy, what was his story? And he fought the darkness,
Yeah.
the Azar Ahi, and
They've already hinted that it's not him because when they were at Castle Black and Master Aemon was like, was his sword hot or was it glowing or whatever?
I know it just ties in a little bit here in the sense that
No,
Right.
you know who that is then? It's Jon Snow.
it could potentially be Jon
Because
Snow,
he has
yeah,
the sword that struck down the White Walkers.
but it didn't light up.
No.
But in this thing, he was saying he forged a sword for 30 days and nights and tried to temper it in water, and it shattered.
Hey, but what about?
So it would have been the dragon
the open
glass?
series?
No, that we're building up to light brighter, and then he started again, and it took 50 days, and he drove it into a lion's heart, and it shattered. And then he decided he knew it needed to be done, forged another, and drove it through his wife's heart, and her soul combined with the steel, creating light brighter. The red sword of heroes, and the ancient prophecy says Azor is to be reborn again as a champion set by the god of light.
The red god.
Yeah. So he could potentially, you know what I mean? Like that's
Where did you get this info from?
the internet. What do you mean? Where do you get any information?
I pay really close
Encyclopedia.
attention to all this shit. I
I just
didn't catch
expanded on a character.
any of
That's
this
all.
stuff.
Yeah, I just expanded on a character in depth.
Okay.
It's like the DVD extras, basically,
Okay,
shit
all right.
like that.
Yeah.
It's expanded. You know,
I wonder if they talk
like
about
with
that in the season
Rhaegar
4
and
extras.
Lyanna.
I haven't watched the season 4 extras. I'll have to go back
Yeah.
and watch that stuff. I bet you they mentioned that.
But so it just kind of felt like it tied together a little bit there because he sacrificed his daughter, and the other guy killed his wife to create his sword. So, like, is he creating his army by, you know what I mean? Like, is it somehow forging it all together?
But you said, like, it's going to be a hollow victory. Like, Jon Snow is going to come in and sweep the victory out from under him.
I don't know about that, but it's not going to be, he's not going to get what he wanted by sacrificing his daughter.
No.
It's going to be different than what he bargained for. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to get what he was thinking.
Well, the Red Woman has other motives as well.
Yeah. That's all I mean. I just don't think it's going to be... He's not going to sit back at the end and go, you know what, Shireen? Thank you for taking one for the team. It was totally worth it. I love you, honey. Bit much love. I'll pour some out for my homies, and you know what I mean? We'll see you in the afterlife, biatch. Like, it's not going to happen.
No.
Right. Hey, Jeremy, to continue on with what you were saying about how Melisandre might have what are her real motives behind doing all this.
Right.
I think we had a discussion on one of the earlier episodes on with this whole religion and everything. Who's the one really telling them that they should be doing this? Like, who's her boss?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
But,
Agreed. Because even the guy that was sent
Thoros Amir.
Yes, that guy that was sent to teach. He was sent to convert Robert Baratheon. Right. Somebody told them to do these things.
Right.
Who is this?
Who is this?
Are they just going? Is it just the Lord of Light? Are they just getting?
Because
these
haven't we
instructions
seen like
from the
examples
fire?
of him existing?
Well, that was another one of my points I forgot to get to while we've been talking about this. Is him sacrificing Shireen? To be perfectly honest, the only god in all of this except for now the faceless god, possibly
Potentially, yeah.
we've seen have.
But they're going to just end
real,
up being the seven gods,
have
aren't
any
they?
kind of real effect on, like, actual physical effect. We've seen the Lord of Light bring a guy back to life,
yeah.
and which I still think is going to happen with the dog. I think we're going to get.
We've also seen that with the less effectively with the lady, the witch lady, for Drogo. Like, she brought somebody back to life, essentially, didn't she?
Yeah, but she wasn't praying to...
No, I know. I'm saying a different thing. We're seeing a couple different entities. Is it possible they could end up being the seven?
All the different gods being the different seven gods that they worship? The father, the mother, the...
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know they had all the names and everything, but...
Okay,
so it's not going to be the... Well, that could be the many-faced god, the stranger. Nobody would know him.
The drowned god, I think, is one of them.
Just a thought.
Right.
So do you think that... who do you think gets to kill Ramsay?
And do you think it happens, or do you think it doesn't happen right now?
I mean, there's a couple scenarios here. I don't know.
How have we switched Ramsay? We didn't see him this time.
But it's coming in the next episode. I'm just predicting here because we're at Winterfell still.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking, or we're going to be at Winterfell. Stannis is going to attack. Brienne is not sitting on the sidelines.
No.
She's either going to kill Ramsay before or after he tries to kill Stannis or doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, I think Ramsay's going to try to kill Stannis and either fail or succeed, and then Brienne's going to come in and kill Ramsay for Sansa.
Do you think Brienne could kill him in a straight-up fight?
Ramsay?
Yeah.
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 He's a pretty tough motherfucker, man.
No question she could beat him.
Yeah, but come on, really? Do you think the Hound would have lost to Ramsay?
No. No.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that's another question. Do you think he's dead?
I could find out on the HBO website. Because I found out for one of the characters in Marine based on this episode, because it was like people were debating whether or not her future husband that got stabbed, whether he died or not, and it said yes, he's dead. Like, he died in the fight there, in the melee.
See, but you see him dying
But you don't see him like take his last breath and be dead. And this is a show that, as we've discussed before, unless you fucking see it, they might not be dead. You're still talking about the Hound. That was why I brought it up, because we don't. It could have been an off-screen death.
I still don't think it is.
No, this time, I mean. But they said outright, he's dead.
But they never said that about the Hound.
I don't know. I didn't look on the site to see if he was dead.
Yeah, I don't think the Hound's dead.
I don't think he is.
I think that
I think Thoros Amir is going to find him. That's why I think that group is going to find him sitting up against.
So that's the guy that got brought back
and
to
then
life.
Heal the Hound, and then the Hound will be a believer or whatever, and join his merry band of men, or just go off on his own.
And then he won't be so scared of fire because it's light. It's kind of fire,
Right.
you know.
I don't think the Hound is dead. I think the Hound's going to be the one to ultimately kill the Mountain.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, I guess that would make
At
the
some
most
point in
sense.
time,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's going to be like the like Arya's
They'll bring him back
dire wolf.
together.
It's just going to pop in out of nowhere.
Just a Hound somewhere is just going to save her.
I mean, but they don't really do backstory then, so we're going to have to see him get healed. We're not just going to be told that he was healed. That doesn't make any sense, right? For him to just pop back up.
Why not?
And then we have to find out later that he got saved like the way you described it?
You can just have him wake up. The beginning of season 3, you have him wake up looking at Thoros of Mir.
Oh, okay. So we would still see it
we
then.
healed you.
Okay.
And then you're caught up.
Okay, I was thinking he was just going to pop in.
You've been out for this many months now, or this
Fair
many
enough.
weeks. You know? But yeah, I thought about that too. Like, if they did go back to the Hound, now they'd have to backtrack.
Yeah.
You know, but they could cleverly do that somehow. I think they could. I'm still sticking by the fact that I don't think he's dead. I'm not going away from that until the end of the series and we haven't seen him again.
I would like it to have been the end of it, but he is an awesome character, and so I'm not wishing the character away.
Right.
But at the same time, it felt like a death at the time, so they should.
And I felt the opposite. Like I felt like
I felt the opposite too.
Like him walking, her yelling at him, like he's still, and that was a tough motherfucker too. He might have broken legs and shit like that, but he still had the strength to live on at that point. And I think that.
Okay, well we gotta fight on to Marine here.
Yeah,
because we're already at an hour 15.
Okay, no shit. I felt like we've been going a long time. Go ahead.
So we go to the fighting pits, and Khaleesi claps to start it, and they do the wave, and then Dario leaning in between the queen and her husband to be, and he intimidates and marks his territory as dude gets beheaded in the background.
Well, the way he was talking about the little guy always wins, and the smart money's on the little guy, but then the little guy gets his head fucking cut off by the big guy.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
And then Jorah comes in to fight.
Sword. Okay, I'm going to comment on the sword the big dude was carrying.
That thing was
huge. That was a badass weapon.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, it was, dude.
That thing was fucking awesome. I don't know what you call that.
Great sword,
it was like but they had like
nice.
a curved top to it. Like it was like that thing was disgustingly sick. It was awesome.
Jorah comes in to fight, and she claps, and she reacts when he gets hit, which was kind of cool to see that she obviously did care.
The cool thing about that is he's introducing that next fight, and they're not showing they're showing a few people show up here and there like on the sand, but they're showing a conversation happen up in the thing. And as they're talking, you can read the subtitles below because the dude in the arena is speaking a different language.
Yeah.
And then he's saying the Westerosi night, blah blah blah, and that's when he says that. That's when everybody kind of goes, huh? And she kind of looks like, what?
Yeah.
And then Westerosi night, and then he speaks, and she kind of looks over, but you can see as they're having a conversation, the subtitles in the background of the announcer is announcing him come in. I thought that was cool how they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she looks worried as he loses his sword and shit. They lock eyes, and then Tyrion tells her that she can end it, and Jorah lucks out. The third guy comes in and stabs the guy right before he's about to get his throat slit. And,
right.
And then he ends up winning, and then
a nice move, man.
Yeah.
The roll forward and stab the guy in the stomach, that was awesome.
Well, then out of nowhere,
why was he getting booed though?
Because he won that quickly.
That was a Marine champion.
Oh,
was it?
The dude with the spear, the announcer that I'm talking about had announced that guy as a former champion.
Oh,
so
yes.
the people loved that guy.
I see.
But see, the thing is, man, you're fighting a guy with a spear. You got to close ground quickly. He raised his arm to go at him with the spear, and he just rolled right under it. Dude, just stuck him right in the fucking chest. That shit was sick.
Yeah,
that was pretty tight.
And then the second time I watched, I was waiting to see if you could see the dude sneaking up on him in the background.
Okay.
But they didn't show that at all.
No.
They just showed him look, and they showed him look kind of, and he looked real funny, and then grabbed the spear.
Yeah, he throws a spear and kills the harpy.
Yeah.
Lord Mormont of Friendzone.
So who
of
knew,
House
who
Friendzone.
He was a great swordsman and could freaking throw a javelin 100 yards.
I mean, seriously.
Well, then the harpies come out of nowhere
and
seemingly and slaughter the crowd.
Hit the dude that was behind everybody else.
Yeah.
What a shot.
Yeah, but seriously though, I think that
if
part
you notice
proves
the
that
guy
a lot of that shit they were saying about him was true.
Dario didn't catch that.
This dude sneaking up behind him?
Yeah.
Nope. Dude, seriously, if Jorah wasn't there, man, they could have snuck up behind Khaleesi.
Do you think that there's a leader of the harpies?
I got to be honest with you. When he came, and I've been thinking this for a little while now, and I thought that her new boyfriend, the king, what's his name? Does anybody know his name?
That's why people were talking about
Izadar Lozorak.
Yeah.
I thought he was the leader behind the harpies.
I did too.
Because the way he came in and said, making sure everything was in order.
Yeah.
She looked at him real funny.
Yeah. That's what people were talking about,
so
whether or not
he's
that's
not dead.
But yeah, maybe he was it, or maybe he wasn't. Maybe it's. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I've kind of thought through all the angles on like Dario, if it's him, because he's had plenty of chances if he really wanted to.
No, he's loyal.
Well, but think about it though. He was the one who found the guy hiding behind the wall, like knew right where to look for him, and those people would be willing to die if it was getting him closer to offing the person who came in. He was the champion of those fighting pits.
I mean, I understand.
Maybe
but no.
he's Marine to the core.
No.
I mean, just a
doubt
thought. I'm just trying to figure out who it could be.
That's decent, but I think he's loyal to her. I think he loves
he's
her.
too loyal, though. I think he's like, he just came in and because even one of her Danny's prophecies was you're going to get betrayed by love or whatever. Now, was that love Ser Jorah or was that friendship? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to betray her somehow, I feel like.
You think Dario is? Yeah?
I think he's too goody two-shoes,
I could see that.
Like they're making him out to be too perfect in this world.
Yeah, but again, it's kind of showing his weakness a little bit here with him missing the thing that Jorah caught. So Jorah's like back in, basically.
I think her taking his hand.
But not the grayscale part. People were like, he touched her.
Not that he touched the wrong hand. It was a different hand.
Okay.
He has it on his left hand.
So
right here.
now something that really pissed me off about this, the Tyrion saves Missandei. That didn't piss me off. And then the Harpies surround them. When did the Unsullied become such a bunch of pussy larpers? Like, what the fuck happened? They're just getting taken out like nothing.
Like, why were they? I don't understand. Like, they were supposed to be such badasses.
He's laughing at pussy larpers.
Pussy larpers, right? Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was some good fucking shit, man.
But dude, seriously, like, where did they all go? How come there was not a shit ton of them in that stadium?
And why were they fighting like the fucking Ninja Turtles? Okay, let's all stand here and then one at a time. Let's fight each other. Oh, damn, he won.
Okay. Well, here's my explanation of how that goes down.
Go on.
Why they're all surrounded. Okay, all these harpies that are surrounding them, they're not soldiers.
The Larpies?
The Larpies?
No, they're not the Larpies,
They're
damn
like
it.
gorillas.
It's Harpies versus Larpies.
They're not soldiers.
Okay.
So, they're standing around, they're looking at soldiers. You're standing, okay, yeah, we got you outnumbered, we got you surrounded, but yeah. Okay, so who's going to be and then one guy steps forward and gets his fucking throat cut by Dario or whatever, or gets killed by one of the Unsullied. So you think the next person's going to be that eager to be like, yeah. You know what
It
I'm
just
saying?
seems weird that they would go one at a time, like they're waiting for it.
I think that's exactly why it happened like that, is because they're hesitant.
It just reminded me of a Ninja Turtle
You know what I'm
movie.
saying? I get it.
Right.
But then, I mean, come on, man. Now, here's a question. Do you think she was kind of closing her eyes to accept her fate?
Nope, she was summoning the
Or
dragon.
do you think she was summoning the dragon?
I think
Summoning the dragon.
I think she's been telepathic with the dragon since the beginning. Like, remember
She just kinda
when the
relived it?
eggs were stone?
Yeah.
Like, I think she knew then that they weren't.
Right.
Like, before she even... Like, I think she's communicating with it, and that was easily...
But it just seemed like it happened too quickly. Like, she just closed her eyes, and it was like,
Yep.
it was like there.
People were like, oh, that was her giving up and accepting her fate. Like, no fucking way.
The director said that, though.
I don't think so, though. I
The
disagree.
director said that it was one of his favorite scenes of the whole thing. The fact that she closed her eyes and resigned herself to fate right there.
I think she was communicating.
Dude, okay, so now did he
Yeah,
come
resigned
out?
herself to fate, but was she going to
Did
take
he come
control
out of
her
a
fate?
fucking
Resigned herself to
portal
the
of fire?
resigned
Is that what
herself
that
to
was?
the fate of-
She closed her eyes and summoned him, and he just came out of a fucking
He
ball
could
of
probably
fire?
sense that his mother was in danger.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yep.
But I think that,
But
she
I
closed
don't
her
know,
eyes
man.
and summoned
The dragon
him.
entrance was... I can't get over it. That shit was fucking ridiculous.
That was way cooler than the fly off at the end. I get the idea behind the fly off, badass, but like the dragon in there was way cooler than like the CGI fly off. The real
that was
close
awesome,
shot.
dude.
Eh.
What, you mean the one when she flew up above the pyramid?
I mean, like the
That was
close shot,
badass!
the real close shot on her and the dragon. It was
Oh,
just
when
like
it was her on the...
It was
I
just like,
thought it
nah.
looked good. I thought
flying
it looked
off.
good. I disagree. I
A
thought
wide
it
shot
looked
would be
good.
cooler, but
I didn't expect that to happen.
the CGI in the thing was badass.
I didn't expect her to get on the dragon. I didn't see that coming.
No.
I know.
Now,
Not this early.
possible, not possible. This is a reach here, okay? So bear with me on this ridiculous thought. Bran has not been in this season. They've told us he's not going to be in this season.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's in this season, like warging Drogon?
No.
Like, is there any possibility that they're tying those two stories together, and that we're going to find out maybe next episode
that
or
we'd
the
have
next
to, like,
season?
flash back to him? We'd have to go back in time, wouldn't we?
Not really.
Or he could just say that he did that, or that was him, or like. Do we get to? Do we have to go back to see him?
We could potentially see. All I'm saying is they've been telling us outright we're not going to get Bran. So what if we got Bran in like the last shot of like him, coming back, unwarging. I'm just throwing it out there.
kinda
It could be
cool.
kind of neat, right?
That would be really sweet.
That we're all theorizing. This is what we're doing here.
Yeah.
This is exactly.
This is how to watch TV.
This is what we
Goddammit.
do here. This is fantastic. Absolutely.
There is a fan theory out there that because the dragon always has 3 heads and 3 riders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That Bran is potentially going to be one of those riders.
One of the dragon riders.
Yeah, and he's just going to be warging into it.
And just riding. I mean, dude, like seriously.
But I don't think that Bran would. I mean, whoever if people do ride dragons or if they don't ride dragons, whatever. But I mean, Drogon is Dany's. She's not going to go to one of the smaller ones.
Fair enough.
Didn't
you think it was kind of shitty that she just fucking bailed on the rest of her cabinet, in the center of the ring?
There was still some other guys in that.
No, there was still a large amount of harpies left in that thing.
But apparently they were just there for her, I guess, to try to kill her.
Well, no, wouldn't they want to kill the rest of her?
I don't know. It felt like they just dissipated
yeah,
after
those
that.
are-
I'll
That's
tell you
not
what,
right.
man. We've had a lot of these this season. Silent faces, expressions on screen
Yeah.
that are
Tyrion, yeah.
at the end. I mean, come on, dude. He fucking killed it right there.
Yeah.
His look on his face was like, I believe.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm in. Yeah.
I'm in. It was fantastic.
Right.
Him sitting up there with her.
Oh, the
That
other.
was, some of the better acting.
Dude, I mean, I'm telling you, going back and forth with the king, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, he has been since the beginning of the show. The smartest fucking person in the whole fucking
clearly.
the whole
Absolutely.
Game of Thrones.
One other Dario thing, real quick, is that he did. The other thing I was going to mention is that he led them out to the center of the ring, like in trying to get them out of there. Seemingly, it's like it felt again like maybe he
But
could
then
be.
he was killing him.
Yeah, but again,
He was waxing him. He was
I guess
killing him.
he could have just turned around and
tried
killed
to lead
her
him out
then.
through that tunnel first, and then the tunnel closed. Well, he let him into the tunnel.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe.
No, Jorah let him into that tunnel. He was the first
Yeah, I
one into
think
the
Jorah
tunnel,
did, yeah.
and then the
Okay,
gate
maybe.
shut, and then he turned around and killed the harpy from
Okay.
behind. The whole thing was carefully planned. I don't think Dario had
Could
anything to do with that.
could it be like some? They like to throw us twists. Could it be like the chick? Remember the chick that was cuddling at the beginning of the season? Could she be the leader of the harpy?
They showed her again.
Could she be the leader of the
I don't see
harpies?
why not.
Maybe.
She was the one they showed her again, where she was crying when the Unsullied ran in, and she was crying, and then they went that way, and they went into the alleyway where Grey Worm got stabbed.
Yeah.
And she wiped the tears away. Yeah, fuck yeah, why not?
Maybe. I don't know.
Why not? She could be the leader of them.
Yeah. If anyone else can-
I thought it confirmed it when he came in. I'll say it again. When he came in and sat down, she's like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "I was just making sure everything was in order." And she looked at him real funny.
But if
I was
he's
like,
dead-
"That's it." I was like, "He's the fucking leader of the Harpies. He's the fucking piece of shit."
But if
behind the
he's
whole
dead
thing."
now, then
I
fuck.
just now that theory shot to shit because I think he is dead. Where they got like the plastic fake knives? No, man, he got the shit stabbed out.
Yeah.
of him.
What did he have? Ketchup packets?
Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that in this world. He's dead. He's dead as fuck.
I mean, the attack stopped when he was released from jail. To go back to him potentially being it.
To the king guy.
Yeah, the one that was going to marry
Yeah.
her.
Well, I mean, do you think it was because he was released or because he was now about to be the king?
I think maybe when he got maybe both. Maybe he was released and then they found out he was going to be the king too. So everything's I don't. That's assuming he's in
But
charge.
What
I don't think
motive would he
I think he's dead now.
I think
he was
he's
in
dead,
league.
too.
I don't think he was
in
illegal.
purpose. If he's already going to become king, why wouldn't he just stay with the marriage? He's got a smoking hot,
No,
dragon.
he what? Because he
He just said smoking hot dragon. Fucking
smoking hot
spectacular.
dragon wife.
I meant to say dragon lady, but then someone started talking.
Smoking
Yeah.
hot dragon.
I mean, I really don't think he was in
Dragon.
on it. I thought he was, and then he got stabbed. And I was like, oh, there goes that.
Okay, couple questions. Could the spears have really killed Drogon? Like, is
Enough of them, possibly.
think so? Could it be that easy to kill a dragon? It doesn't seem
I
like
really
it.
thought. Again, I keep saying this. Like, I really thought Because you do really think these things as you're watching it and as it's happening. Like, are we going to watch the fucking dragon get killed right now? I'm going to be pissed off if that happens.
Yeah,
you know
right? Like, you're just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
So she just lost her dragon?
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a crazy-ass turn.
Yeah, that would have been a crazy-ass
That
turn.
would have been awful.
It would have been
Right?
terrible. Right.
I don't know if
Because
I would've
then,
been more upset
because then
about
where does
that
it go
or
from there? Like, if they kill Drogon, then how do they get out?
The other two, I don't know. Who knows? The
Right,
other-
but I don't know. Like, I think it would have taken quite a few more spears to bring him down. But he was getting weak, dude. You could see that it was taking a toll on him. You could see it. He was.
Yeah,
he was,
I mean, he's about as big as an elephant. I'm sure,
Yeah,
you get 30, Africans throwing spears at an elephant.
dude, just
Might slow it
snatching
down.
up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Miles.
Go ahead, what?
Go. You were gonna say something. I was interrupting you again.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, I mean, that Drogon's pretty much as big as an elephant. So, I mean, it's not that big. And I mean, people in Africa, I'm sure, have hunted, elephants or something like that with
Take it down.
spears.
Spears. Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it probably takes a good 20, 30 of them to get it. To
Oh,
fall
yeah,
off.
for sure.
and with the dragon skin, and you know what I mean?
Blue Dragon's got scales and a little bit of armor. Yeah.
I mean, they're all
It's
seemingly
something for
hard to kill in different ways. So, like last week, we saw the power of the White Walkers and the ice.
Yeah.
And this week, we saw the power of fire. Shireen, Stannis' camp, the Harpies, all these people getting burned. We saw the power of the fucking dragons this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
We're getting our
People
Song
get-
of Fire and Ice, and it's a pretty sweet song so far.
So yeah.
I mean, that's basically it. I don't have anything else for this week. You got any other comments on this episode? Miles?
I don't think.
We got our questions that.
Oh yeah, quickly. Let's. You got time for 2 quick questions, Miles?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
This is from Alex Angela of Ella is Big on Twitter.
whose character has more growth? Sansa, Arya, or the crippled Stark, meaning Bran?
Of course, he says it
Who
like
has
that.
more chance for longevity in this life?
You want to take that, Miles?
Man, that's actually a pretty decent question because
really good
of
question.
so much. And man, I really think Arya.
I think so
I was
too.
good. That I agree. I agree there.
I think
Arya's
Bran
more
is going to
skilled.
eventually do too much. I think he's going to risk it all and die warging at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's just going to get lost in that hole and be like that the guy that's in that tree now. And just to be
Potentially.
completely forgotten about. And
Huh.
So potentially he's played his part, and that's it.
I don't
it doesn't
think so.
seem like
part
that doesn't
would be
seem-
really huge. But I mean, I don't know. That's tough.
He has more of a destiny in this. He has more of a part to play in this.
I think long-term Arya is going to survive the longest, and maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I think so too.
Right.
He said longevity. Who has longevity in
Yeah.
life? I would say Arya on both.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
I mean,
We didn't
I
even
don't-
mention Sansa. Where the fuck does she
but I mean, no, I
fly?
was just gonna say Sansa. I mean, she's actually.
Do you think
know
she
what?
becomes the next Catelyn
Why-
Stark? Like,
why
do you
don't
think
we
she gets
reserve
that
judgment
strong?
on that on Sansa Stark till we see what happens with her in this next episode?
Yeah, fair
I think
enough.
that's
Yeah.
going to really kind of answer that question
Okay.
for us. Is the next episode to see what
We're
she
going to
tries
see a
do.
lot with
Yeah.
Arya too. She's
Yeah.
going to be
I
putting
think so,
herself in
too.
horror's
so,
way.
yeah, I guess that's a good question to come back to maybe next week.
Okay, hit us with the last question, then we'll get the fuck out of here.
Well, this was the question he asked me, and I'm looking at him like, dude, you got to watch this episode. He says, how will the dragons continue to aid Daenerys, and will they become extinct again?
I mean, we've basically just talked about with the potential of one of them being killed off, and then what that would mean. That would kill all hope potentially for fighting against the White Walkers.
Well,
Unless
I think-
she was able to then go to... It didn't happen, so it's obviously theorizing.
Right.
But if she had gone back and found eggs, and then like 10 more were born or something, like she would just have to bide her time.
That's, I think, the only chance they stand is finding more dragons. Maybe she goes back to, like we said, maybe she goes back to Valyria.
And they're there.
And there's
'cause
dragons
why else
there
was
or
he
something
flying
like
over
that.
there?
Right. True enough. Like, he takes her back there. They
He
go
went
flying back there.
home. Like, dragons would know, just like any other animal. Okay, what's our last question? Sorry, I
He
didn't
had
mean to
one
not
more,
give you an
and it
answer.
says, what does the Lannister dynasty look like in 5 years? Shit. It's done.
I'm saying they're wiped out.
It's done. They got Uncle Kevin. I mean, who the fuck is this guy?
So you guys don't hold out hope that I mean, not hope because that's the wrong word for it, but you don't think Cersei's gonna worm her way out of this?
No, I don't.
No?
So you think Cersei's done?
I think something's happening next episode. We're going to find out one way or the other. Either she's dead or she's going to come back into power in a rough way.
Yeah, I mean, the Faith Militant has a pretty good hold over King's Landing right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we've come too far for her to just go back to her normal life.
So she's got to die then. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know if she's going to die, but I just think she's going to...
I'll tell you who I think is going to die.
Imagine if she got humbled and like had to go back to where Tommen was trying to send her. That she's like, I don't want to go back there.
She had to go back to Castle
the Iron
Rock.
Islands. Oh yeah, Castle Rock. That's what it was. I don't know. I hope Tyrion's still alive.
Yeah. Who do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be a major character death?
Yep, I do.
I think it'll probably end up being Cersei.
I think it's Cersei, and I think
maybe Ramsay or
I think either
Stannis.
Loras gets it.
I could see that.
Sir Loras, the Knight of Flowers, I think is going to bite the big one.
Man, the fucking the Tyrell that's with the Mace Tyrell. What a fucking weirdo.
God, man, he
sucks.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah, the actor does a good job playing the annoying character that he's supposed to be.
Like,
but his line from earlier in the season when he's like, we'll have to talk about the crown's debt, or I'll have words with my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, like what a douche.
Okay, fuck off.
Everybody just kind of just gave him the silent treatment at the table. That was fucking great. Everybody sold it. You know what I mean? You remember that scene? Everybody at the small council meeting.
Well, sorry this episode went super long, but
there was so much to talk about.
Whatever. Really. It's a great episode of whatever. This is how to watch TV. Fuck off.
Yeah.
All right, Miles. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good one.
You too.
This is how to watch TV.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.